Welcome to another episode of Roots and Horizons, where we stay grounded in our heritage while growing toward new possibilities. I'm Dr. Harold Elad, and today we're tackling a complex but deeply important issue: how acculturation stress affects Filipino immigrants and how this stress can contribute to substance use and addiction. We'll explore the challenges faced by Filipino immigrants, how these challenges impact their mental and emotional well-being, and ways we can support our community through culturally competent care. Adjusting to life in a new country is never easy. For Filipino immigrants, the process of acculturation, the blending of one's cultural identity with that of the host country, can come with a unique set of challenges. Acculturation stress is a psychological and emotional struggle that happens when individuals have to balance the traditional Filipino values with the expectations of American society. This can create feelings of displacement, confusion, and internal conflict. Acculturation stress often manifests in many ways. For instance, language barriers can make it difficult to navigate daily life, find a job, or build relationships. Discrimination, whether subtle or overt, can also take a toll on a person's sense of identity and self-worth. And for many, financial struggles are a constant concern as they try to support their family, both in the Philippines and here in the United States. But perhaps one of the most difficult challenges comes when different generations within a family experience these cultural shifts in different ways. While younger generations may quickly adapt to American norms, older generations may feel lost, stuck between two worlds, leading to tension within the family unit. These challenges create an overwhelming sense of stress, and without proper support, they can lead to deeper emotional struggles that affect an immigrant's well-being and mental health. When the pressure of adapting becomes overwhelming, some Filipino immigrants turn to substances as a way to cope with the emotional and psychological burden of acculturation stress. For some, alcohol is the most common coping mechanism. In Filipino culture, alcohol consumption is often part of social gatherings, and for some, it becomes a way to temporarily relieve stress or escape feelings of loneliness and frustration. Others may turn to prescription medication, seeking relief from anxiety or depression. Substances may provide temporary relief from the emotional turmoil of acculturation stress, numbing feelings of isolation, shame, or failure. But what often starts as occasional use can quickly develop into dependence. This cycle of self-medication can make it harder for individuals to break free from addiction. The more they use substances to cope, the less they are able to address the root causes of their stress. And the deeper they fall into addiction, the more isolated they become, perpetuating the cycle of stress and substance use. While substances offer short-term relief, they ultimately create long-term harm, further distancing individuals from their goals of adjusting to life in a new country and away from the opportunity to heal emotionally and mentally. For Filipino immigrants, there is often an added layer of stress that revolves around family responsibilities. Many feel a strong sense of duty to provide for family members, both here and back home in the Philippines. This sense of duty, rooted in utang na loob, a debt of gratitude, can create immense pressure to succeed. It's not just about individual achievement, it's about ensuring the well-being of the entire family. The pressure to fulfill family expectations often intersects with hiya, the concept of shame. For many, admitting they are struggling, whether emotionally or financially, can feel like a failure. Instead of seeking help, they may internalize their struggles, afraid that reaching out would disappoint their family or expose them as weak. This fear of dishonoring the family can prevent individuals from seeking the support they need to overcome their challenges. This silence only deepens the struggle. The pressure to succeed and save face can make it harder to admit to feelings of distress, much less the need for professional help. The stigma surrounding mental health and addiction in Filipino culture often prevents individuals from seeking care until their situation becomes unmanageable. So, how do we address this issue in a way that truly helps Filipino immigrants and their families? One key solution is culturally competent care. Many addiction treatment programs, while effective, don't take cultural identity into account. Standard approaches may not resonate with Filipino immigrants who might feel disconnected or misunderstood in treatment settings. Culturally competent care means that providers understand the unique cultural values, family dynamics, and specific stressors that Filipino immigrants face. This includes acknowledging the importance of family, community, and cultural traditions in healing. For example, in Filipino culture, the family unit plays a pivotal role in a person's life, and any recovery process must involve family participation. Furthermore, understanding the stigma around mental health and addiction in Filipino communities is essential to offering support that is both respectful and effective. Providers who take the time to understand the cultural context of their patients can build trust and create a more supportive environment. By fostering open communication, ensuring that patients feel understood, and integrating cultural practices into care plans, healing can begin. The goal is to help Filipino immigrants address their acculturation stress and addiction without having to sacrifice their cultural identity. Acculturation stress is real, and for many Filipino immigrants, it's a struggle that can affect every aspect of their lives. The pressure to adapt to a new culture, coupled with the responsibility to uphold family expectations, can become overwhelming. Unfortunately, some turn to substances as a way to cope, and this can lead to addiction. But addiction doesn't define you. It's a challenge that can be addressed with the right support. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, it's important to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Healing is possible, and it starts with acknowledging the challenges we face, breaking the silence around addiction, and seeking care that understands and respects our cultural backgrounds. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Roots and Horizons. If this conversation resonated with you, please share it with others in our community. Let's continue to break the stigma surrounding mental health and addiction, and together we can support one another in healing. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and keep growing.